Of course, it's Crocodile Dundee. Margaret managed to catch up with one of the film's unsung heroes, the editor, David Stiven. Now, the editor of a film is the one who pieces all the bits together to make it work. David's credits include Tim, and he won an AFI award for the editing of Mad Max 2. Now, let's just see a bit of the film first to remind us of just how enjoyable it actually was.
He's cool.
Yeah, I'm cool.
In a lot of the books I've read, it says, you know, the script writer, the director and the editor are the three key, you know, production people on a feature film, and that's true, isn't it?
Well, it is, certainly in post-production. I mean, well, you have to have your script in the beginning, that's good. The director does his work on the floor, then when you get into the cutting room, well, then the director, the producer, and the editor really work together on finishing the whole thing together.
David, how long were you working on Crocodile Dundee?
I was on it for more than a year.
A year?
Mm.
So when did you become involved?
Well, actually, I got involved in it, fortunately, this time, because much earlier than I normally would. In fact, I went in really early stages in pre-production and actually worked with Peter Feynman and an artist, and we did a storyboard for the whole film beforehand. You know, it's quite a complicated thing, blocking out a whole movie,
yeah.
and at least when you just turn those pages over, you start to isolate scenes and you begin to get a feeling that you've got the film in a comic book form, which is actually clarifies the whole picture in a way. It gives you a starting point, I think. The whole production crew, I mean, we're talking about John Cornell and Paul Hogan and Peter Feynman. Well, they knew that they were going to shoot a fairly big budget picture, and they all knew they were really making a feature film for the first time. And not only with me, but with everybody else that had key roles in the film, they actually got everybody else involved at a very early stage to get the best possible, you know, coordination and to try and iron out any problems that might come up later on by doing a lot of pre-preparation. I mean, we all thought it was an interesting project, and when we began to see the rushes, we knew that Paul was looking good, you know, playing the lead role, the male, and also Linda really looked good, and so we felt that we had something definitely, you know, something really worthwhile happening. And the thing that was really satisfying in the whole overall production was that although we were under, you know, a fair amount of pressure and time, they never let go seeking after the perfection of what they wanted, and so we were really all struggling to get it right. Nothing was ever basically good enough. It had to be pushed and pushed to the very limit, and I think it paid off. I think that's one of the reasons it is a success, is because so much effort was put into finishing it and finalizing it and never letting anything go until everybody was completely sure it was right. When we were cutting the knife scene with the muggers that come up, and Paul says, "That's not a knife, this is a knife." Well, we were having quite a lot of trouble cutting that sequence. It was quite difficult. It wasn't working, and we were struggling over it for quite a while, and John Cornell said, "Let's go and have a look at every bit that's left over in that sequence." So we sat down and ran through every piece that was left over. And at one point, in an early take, when a close-up on Paul, and Peter Feynman called cut, and Paul was joking with the two kids he was playing opposite and said, "This is a knife." But it was a dead take because we never considered using it. So we post-sunk Paul's voice onto that NG take, and that was the one that captured everybody's imagination. That's the moment that sort of brought that scene to life and paid it off. It was in the trims. It was an NG take.
And, of course, that was David Stiven, editor of Crocodile Dundee, talking to Margaret.